We've made it to a Thursday, 18th day of December 2025. I'm Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We just went up. 39 degrees here. In the big city, one more bout of rain is knocking on our door. It'll start raining here in about an hour. Going to rain most of the day today. It'll taper off tonight, but between today, late this afternoon, and tonight, we could get another half an inch of rain. Little breezy tonight, and then everything calms down. We go back to what should be kind of sort of December weather. Temperatures are still going to be slightly above normal, but this abnormally warm December is going to continue for another couple of days. Anyway, we have all those details on the way. A lot of news, some sports. Everybody's ready for tonight. All eyes will be at Lumen Field. Seahawks, Rams, both 11-3. It'll be a good one. I might even watch. It'll be that good. We're going to still see if Loki the dog can get a home. Still in dog jail. We'll check in with the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society for Paws for Pets, and then Jefferson Robbins. Our handsome and talented news director had a chance to sit down with Pete Teigen, who is the executive director of the Chelan-Douglas Together For Youth. They got some grant money, $66 grand worth, and he's going to tell you what he's going to do with it. That's a good conversation. You don't want to miss that. Jefferson and Pete in the back half of the program. Before we get to the cameras, we want to take you to this from the District 6 Public Information Officer, Washington State Patrol. This happened about an hour ago. It's a three-car accident. As you can see, one of those three cars fully engulfed in flames. This is on State Route 28, out milepost 23. If you're familiar with the area, just not quite to the Douglas County, Grant County line near Crescent Bar. This is when it goes from 2 lanes to 3 lanes, and they have the passing lane. You can see 3 lanes there. So this is on State Route 28, milepost 23, on the passing lane, and it's 3 cars. It's serious stuff. The roadway is blocked, so do not plan on taking State Route 28 from the valley out to Quincy, Crescent Bar, whatever the case may be, because you ain't going to get there, and it's going to be quite a while before they get this straightened out. Washington State Patrol is investigating. Again, State Route 28, just about 3 miles on the Douglas County side of the Douglas County, Grant County line. Now we can do our cameras around the valley, and there is the valley. Longest nights, shortest days of the year. We're in them right now. Winter solstice is on Sunday, the 21st. Bonnie Orr will be here tomorrow, as she always is when we do the solstices and the equinoxes. 48 degrees, that's the Stein Hill camera, by the way, looking up the valley towards Dryden and Peshastin. Our high temperature yesterday was 48 degrees. We mentioned this yesterday. That happened at 4 o'clock in the morning. Our overnight low was 36, but it wasn't really an overnight low either. Our high temperature of 48 and our low temperature of 36 on Wednesday happened within 2.5 hours of each other. That's, do you have to chalk it up to another one of this just strange December weather? Hello, Lake Chelan. How you doing down there? You can see Pat Mike's in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. That's from the Lower Butte. Looking out over Chelan. Right now, Chelan, you are 37 degrees, a couple of degrees cooler than us. That's from our Lower Butte camera, and from downtown Wenatchee. The Widener apartment home complex continues to grow. I mentioned this before. It's 6 stories of apartment houses, and then there's going to be a 7th story, which is kind of a smaller, kind of like a clubhouse kind of addition. So that is going to be really, really big. It's set to open in March of 2027, but they're still working on that. Mountain snow in some of our viewing areas. In the lowlands, it's essentially up in the Methow Valley. You can get a couple of inches of snow today, but I wanted to mention this because, of course, Stevens Pass is still closed. You can't get over Stevens Pass, and so your options right now are Blewett and then Snoqualmie. I need to mention this right now. Snoqualmie Pass, starting tonight and going through Saturday, is going to get at least 17 inches of snow and quite possibly up to 31 inches of snow. That's a lot of snow, and that's at the summit of I-90, Snoqualmie Pass. Blewett is also going to get some snow, not as much, though. Blewett will have less snow, but I-90 is going to be a bear to get over starting tonight, all day Friday with heavy snow, and heavy snow all day Saturday. Wanted to let you know about that. All right, from our friends at Colonial Vista, your forecast is where comfort, care, and community come together, by the way. Rain today. It's about ready to start. It's currently not raining in the valley, but the spigot's going to open here in about 45 minutes. and it's going to rain most of the day today. The snow level right now is at 1,900 feet. It's going to go up to about 3,700 feet this afternoon, and another warm one, high near 42. And we could get about 1/4 of an inch of rain. The rain tapers off at about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock tonight, but the wind will be picking up, and the wind is going to scour the clouds out. So it's going to be breezy tonight, but it's also going to clear out the skies, which is meaning our overnight low is going to get down to 30, because by the time we all get up together on Friday, it'll be sunshine. And then nothing but sunshine on Friday. Very quiet, very benign. High of 41. Clear skies Friday night. Means chilly temperatures, 29 for the overnight low. Partly sunny Saturday with a high of 41. And then on Sunday, a slight chance of rain. Snow level is going to be about 2,400 feet, but there's about a 50% chance of rain on Sunday, about a 50% chance of rain on Sunday night. And you notice the temperatures getting cooler, but still, especially for our daily high temperatures, still above normal, which has been par for this December course. Pardon the golf analogy. We're going to take a break and come back with the news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Tour Moses Lake just a gas tank away. With its abundance of outdoor activities, Moses Lake is a great place to visit. From fishing and boating to exploring the city's attractions, there is no shortage of things to do. Whether you're enjoying any one of the variety of restaurants with the family or an adventure-filled day with friends, Moses Lake has something for everyone. Tour moseslake.com and start your adventure today.
Welcome to Bliss. Population U. This is the you that appreciates the warmth of a good coat and the fit of a purposeful boot. At Coastal, we want to be your partner in finding your bliss. We are hopeful and helpful because we're about this community. So when you're looking for a place called Bliss, trust Coastal, your country lifestyle superstore. Coastal, we're just what the country needs.
.39 degrees here in the Wenatchee Valley. No rain yet. It's coming. It'll be here pretty soon. And it's going to rain the rest of the day. Get up to ½ an inch of rain for the Wenatchee Valley by the end of the day today. The rain tapers off tonight. The wind picks up tonight. And everything calms down for the most part. Thank you very much. Come the weekend, it's 9 minutes after the hour. Eastmont School Board member Jason Hines was arrested on Tuesday for allegedly assaulting his teenage daughter and stalking his ex-fiancee. Back in November, Hines' daughter, who is an Eastmont student, reported to a school resource officer that he punched her in the arm and left a bruise after finding out that she missed a softball practice. The girl's mother, older sister, and Hines' former fiancee corroborated what the girl told police and reported similar abuse that they had experienced from him. Hines' former fiancee told police he had been driving by places where she might be after she broke off their relationship, and said she'd seen him drive by her apartment from the summer into October. Hines was booked Tuesday afternoon to the Chelan County Regional Justice Center. He was released after a district court appearance on Wednesday morning. In a notice to parents, Superintendent Spencer Taylor said the matter is in the hands of law enforcement. He did not provide further comment to us on how this may impact Hines' position on the Eastmont School Board. Traffic on State Route 28 just above Rock Island Dam was fully blocked for nearly 5 hours yesterday after a westbound semi crossed the center line and collided with an eastbound semi. According to the Washington State Patrol, 42-year-old Mark A. Kinney of Kennewick, he was driving a semi down the grade when it crossed the center line and struck the eastbound semi nearly head on. The eastbound semi rolled onto its passenger side, spilled its cargo of apples all over the roadway. Kinney was transported to Confluence Health Hospital with undisclosed injuries. Scott was uninjured. Both semis, as you might imagine, were totaled. Now, Dan Newhouse, who spent more than a decade representing the 4th congressional district here in our state, is not going to stand for re-election come next November. The Republican serves a largely rural district, stretches all the way from the Oregon border to the Canadian border, Grant County, Douglas County, Okanagan County. Newhouse was a state legislature and the director of the Washington State Department of Agriculture before his first run for Congress successfully in 2014. Of course, in 2021, Newhouse voted with Democrats to impeach President Donald Trump over his part in the January 6th assault on the U.S. Capitol. He survived subsequent election challenges from Trump loyalists Lauren Culp in 2022 and Jared Sessler in 2024, including the primary when Sessler actually won the plurality of votes, but not in the general. In a statement yesterday, Newhouse says he's retiring, and I'm quoting now, with confidence that there are now qualified and serious people expressing interest in this office. Central Washington will have a strong, capable leader to whom I can pass the torch. Closed quotation. More than 60 roads around our state have finally been reopening since the major storms and flooding back on December 10th. But of course, Highway 2, a major route across the Cascades between Leavenworth and Skykomish, is not one of them, and it's going to be a while. State Department of Transportation is urging everybody to stay off that 49-mile stretch, whether in a vehicle, on bike, or on foot. The agency says the landscape is unsettled, it's dangerous, and imposes too many risks for work crews and first responders who may have to conduct rescues. Governor Bob Ferguson addressed that ongoing highway shutdown on Tuesday, saying Highway 2 could remain closed for months.
It's premature to estimate exactly how long that will be, but that is obviously a major highway. We understand the implications to business and individuals and human lives on not having that highway available for an extended period of time. We're going to do everything we possibly can to repair it as quickly as possible, but literally underwater in stages, there's major issues on that roadway, on that highway.
Several areas on that highway are damaged and washed out, so the roads are not there any longer. We will need to rebuild those sections of highway. Near milepost 54, there's a bridge that's covered over several feet of debris with active landslides going on in the place, nearby. Our geotech crews are out there reassessing on a daily basis what those slides are doing and assessing whether we can get in and do further work. In Tumwater Canyon, you may have seen the photos of the washout of the road in that section of highway. It is still an active slide area with erosion continuing. The weather and the river are really the main factors affecting our ability to address these areas. And as you heard, we have no estimated time to open that, and it could take months.
NCW Tech Alliance CEO Dr. Sue Kane has been appointed to the Washington State Board of Education. The governor did that. The board is tasked with shaping policy for K through 12 education. It's 16 members strong. 7 of them are appointed by the governor. Before beginning work at the Tech Alliance, Kane was the North Central Educational Services District's Director of STEM Initiatives and Strategic Partnerships for 8 years. The Board of Education credited Kane for her contributions to advisory groups around the state and for building relationships with rural communities and multilingual leaders. Her term began on December 8th. It'll run through January of 2029. She'll be sworn in at the next meeting, which is on February 11th. And that's the news. Once again, just if you're just joining us, 3-car accident, serious accident on State Route 28, just to the east side of the Douglas County, Grant County line. There it is there. If you're familiar with that area, you take that big long curve as you're heading towards Crescent Bar, and then it goes to a passing lane. It's 3 lanes there, 3 cars involved, 1 car fully engulfed. Highway 28 is closed in both directions and may be for quite some time. We would sure like a quiet news day around here. We can't seem to buy one. Well, the news is the news. If it happens, we report it. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, the NCAA Life Evening News, the traditional on-TV airing times. On YouTube, about 5 o'clock. We'll put a link in our Facebook page. The morning show host will take his blue pen and do this a lot. There's our QR code. There's our email address. We got a busy show. I'm not going to waste any more time. Sports in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCAA Life channel.
Big basketball doings coming up on Friday at Cashmere as the Bulldogs play host to the Natchez Valley Rangers. Join us for all the live play-by-play. Girls at 5:45, the boys at 7:15. And the big part of the night is Haley Van Lith will be in the house to have her jersey number 11 retired. We'll have that ceremony at halftime of the boys game, and we'll have Haley on the air as well. It's all coming up Friday right here on your local TV station, the NCAA Life channel.
Order ready for Susan?
During the holiday rush, those might be the best words you can hear all week. At Abby's, you get a night off from cooking, a place to gather with family, and easy holiday catering that everybody loves. For legendary pizza and hospitality, visit Abby's.com. Aloha and Melikaliki Maka from Abby's. End your year with a tropical twist. Our big Hawaiian pizza at a legendary holiday price. Plus, earn $5, $10, $20 or more in free pizza with our holiday gift card offer. Abby's, a legendary holiday pizza tradition.
When flooding hit Serve Wenatchee, their office and Fresh Hope Market were devastated. But their mission to help prevent homelessness in this valley hasn't stopped, and neither will we. I'm Todd McLaughlin, General Manager at Apple Valley Honda. Now through the end of the year, we're donating $25 to Serve Wenatchee every time someone takes a test drive. And if you happen to buy a vehicle, we'll give an additional $100 in your name. Because when our neighbors are in need, this community steps up, and we're proud to be part of that.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
Here we go. This game's been circled on a lot of people's calendars for a long time. Tonight, national TV. It is the Seahawks and the Rams. Both teams 11-3. Whoever wins will be in first place in the NFC West. And an inside track for the top seed in the NFC heading into the playoffs. Of course, Sam Darnold, he threw 4 interceptions the last time these two teams met. That was last month in Los Angeles, and he admitted yesterday, yeah, he's got to do better tonight.
No, we're excited about this challenge. Obviously, it's a divisional game. Playing these guys last time obviously wasn't my best effort. I feel like as an offense, we just got to continue to do what we've been practicing. Stay on the details. But again, this team's a very good defense. Just with the pressures and. I think I said it last time, and it held true. Just matching the pressure with the coverage, and smart DBs, guys that know what they're doing, and obviously a really good scheme. So we're excited about the challenge and ready to go.
On Prime TV, if you don't subscribe to Prime, but you got cable, it'll be on KCPQ. Kickoff at 5:15. So the Seahawks are playing pretty good. The Kraken are not. They'll try and snap their 3-game losing streak there in Calgary to take on the Flames. These two teams, by the way, are tied for 6th place in the Pacific Division. The Kraken have given up 94 goals. They've scored 77 by my math. That's a -16 scoring differential. Guess what? The Flames have a -16 scoring differential. Something's got to give tonight. The puck will drop at 6:05 on King and Kong. Now I want to climb to the top of the Empire State Building. I don't know why. Men's college basketball last night. Gonzaga was a 38-point favorite, but they only beat Campbell by 28. So they'll be running lines tonight. They blew them out 98-73. Washington State beat Eastern 78-63 in the 509 Classic. Prep girls basketball scoreboard pretty light. Doubleheaders, Liberty Bell over Manson, Kittitas girls over Bridgeport, and Moses Lake Christian knocked off Warden. And then the boys played, and it looked something like that. Liberty Bell completes the sweep. Warden knocked off Bridgeport. Moses Lake Christian took care of Warden. And the Wenatchee Wild Well, what do you do? They lost to Everett. Good Everett team. They came back. Everett took a 3-0 lead. Wenatchee scored a couple of goals in the third period. It wasn't enough. Wenatchee heads into the Christmas break 11-19, 1-1, which is last place in the Western Conference, and they don't play again. And of course, as Eric just mentioned, tomorrow night at the Rondon Gymnasium in Cashmere, we will be there, doubleheader. The reason that we're going to be there, halftime of the boys' game, they're going to retire Haley Van Lith's jersey. That ceremony will be halftime of the boys' game. We will be there with our cameras right here on the NCW Live channel, and those are just some of the games that people are playing. To all of my friends in the Mideast, especially in Qatar, I want to wish you a happy National Day in Qatar today. It's also Nigerian Republic Day in Niger. I was going to do research on that, just didn't feel like it. It's Answer the Telephone like Buddy the Elf Day. It's a Bake Cookies Day. That should be every day. But today, we're going to roast a suckling pig. I think eating pigs I think we're doing them a favor. Suckling pigs go back to ancient times. What is a suckling pig? It's a piglet that's fed on its mother's milk, and then after 6 weeks, they kill it, and then they eat it. Pretty much that. Fun facts about pigs. Pigs are smarter than dogs. Well, not that pig. It can learn tricks faster than dogs. Pigs, of course, have no sweat glands. That's why they run around in the cool mud to cool down. At 3 weeks old, piglets can be trained when their name is called. For instance, come here, piglet, hop on the spit. Pigs have memories so good they can remember things for years, except that pig. Looks kind of good, though, doesn't it? It's 22 minutes after the hour. Guess that state flag. As we transition into Today in History, take a look at it. I'll give you a little hint. It's the third state to join the Union. It doesn't really tell you just by looking at it. What's that the state flag of? It's the state flag of the Garden State, New Jersey. New Jersey ratified the Constitution, joined the Union on this date 238 years ago today, the Garden State. New Jersey is the only state in this country that does not have an official state song. About 20 years ago, a New Jersey state senator proposed that Bruce Springsteen's song Born to Run be named the official state song. I mean, he's the native son of New Jersey. He's often talks about his love of New Jersey. He still lives in New Jersey. What the state senator didn't realize is that Born to Run is about getting the hell out of New Jersey. They didn't adopt it, by the way. New Jersey's motto, come see for yourself. Okay, whatever. Almost 1/10 of all the households in New Jersey, 323,000 New Jersey households are millionaires, and that is the highest reputation of millionaires among the states. Why, you may ask? The top 10 cities in New Jersey, the 10 most populous cities in New Jersey, are essentially bedroom communities of either New York City or Philadelphia. The top 10 most populous cities in New Jersey are within 30 miles of either New York or Philadelphia, so there are a lot of New Jersey residents who live in New Jersey, but they make their money in New York City or in Philadelphia. More cars are stolen in Newark than any other city in America, so you got that to be proud of, Newark. And New Jersey, of course, was the most important state of all of them as far as battles during the Revolutionary War. More battles were fought in New Jersey than in any other colony back during the Revolutionary War. And of course, the Battle of Trenton and the Battle of Princeton were major victories for George Washington. We love you, New Jersey. You get a bad rap. I don't know why. Happy birthday to New Jersey. And a milestone day for the Seattle Seahawks. December 18th, 1988, 37 years ago today, the Seahawks beat the Los Angeles Raiders 43-37 to win their first ever division championship. Of course, it was the AFC West back in those days. The Seahawks have made the playoffs, the NFL playoffs, 20 times, 9 times as a wild card, and 11 times as the champion of their division. But their first division championship was on this date with Chuck Knox as the head coach. Mike Holmgren won 5 division championships, 1999, and then 4 in a row in 04, 05, 06, and 07. And Pete Carroll won 5 division championships as well, and hopefully Mike McDonald will make it 6 in the year 2025. In the year 2525. Now we have to pay mechanical royalties to Zager and Evans. Birthdays. He was known as the Georgia Peach. As a baseball player, he was a peach. As a human being, he wasn't. But talent is talent. One of the first 5 inductees into the Baseball Hall of Fame, Tyrus Raymond Cobb, born in the state in 1886. And, of course, his .366 lifetime batting average is still the best of all time. I don't think that record will ever be broken. Here we go again. Look who's 82. Keith Richards, 82 years old today. He's cleaned up his act. He lives a pretty clean lifestyle now. I saw an interview with Keith Richards on television about 2 weeks ago. He was a lovely shade of blue. He really was. Keith Richards is 82. Somebody should probably tell him. Universally considered as one of the greatest directors of all time, Steven Spielberg is 79. He's the highest grossing film director in history, which is pretty remarkable. He is the only director to get a nomination, Academy Award Best Director nomination, in 6 different decades. 7 of his films have been inducted into the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress. That's more than any other director. Jaws, Close Encounters, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T., Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, and Saving Private Ryan. 147 Academy Award nominations, and he's got 35 of them. And a big mantle, I might add. Happy 79th to Steven Spielberg. And my doppelganger, the guy who looks just like me, Brad Pitt, is 62 years old today. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsor, and they're a platinum organization, too. That works out pretty good. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Mike McNally has got an opinion coming up, and then a really cool conversation. Jefferson Robbins had a chance to sit down with the executive director of the Chelan-Douglas Together For Youth organization. They just got a $66,000 grant. Pete Teigen is his name. A very informative conversation. You don't want to miss that. But first, Low-Key the dog is still in dog jail. Not his fault. It's Pause for Pets.
Hi, I'm Corley with Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, Animal Care Manager, and today I want to introduce you to Low-Key. Low-Key is our 5.5-year-old, we think husky mix. He's certainly got the cute tail. He's our big boy. He's goofy. We've had him for about 8 months now, which is crazy to me because he is one of our easiest, sweetest dogs who is just so genuinely goofy and playful and lovable. And I can't believe we still have him. Especially since we had such a successful Clear the Shelter event this last weekend, which was amazing. It meant so much to all of our staff seeing the dogs and the cats that we love go home to their forever families. I think our final numbers were 68 cats adopted and 23 dogs. And it really filled our cup. We're going to be remembering that for the whole next year. It was so amazing. Thank you all. But we still have Low-Key. Yes, we do. So we'd love you to come meet him. Low-Key is fantastic at tricks. He knows so many. He's so good at sit. He's really good at lay down. He's good at stay even. He can do spin and shake paw. He's so smart. He's so smart and beautiful. Yeah. And he's extremely treat motivated. I didn't even have any good stuff on me today, and he was still doing what I was asking. So I really think that he could learn even more things. Loki's a really big boy. He's about 80 pounds, yes, but he loves going on walks, and I think he'd be a great hiking companion too. He's really active, and he likes to do things with his people. Yes, he does. And I think a nice big yard would be great, but not necessary if you, especially if you love taking your dog on walks. that would be fantastic. We don't know how he is with cats. He does have some best friend dogs here, but as always, we suggest that if you do have a dog, you bring them with you so that the dogs can meet, see if they'll get along right. So if you'd like to come meet our Loki, we are open 12:30 to 6, Thursday through Tuesday, and we would love to introduce you.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
Loki's a really big, oh, God. I took a tongue to the face there. Yeah, it was soft, but I still not great.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
We've all dreamt of moving somewhere new. But what are home prices like? How are the schools? What are the state income taxes? And how's the weather? For all your questions, the Coldwell Banker Move Meter has answers. It's the only tool that lets you compare cities by cost and quality of living, so you can get a better idea of what your dream looks like and start making it come true. The Move Meter, only from Coldwell Banker. Live well with Coldwell.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. So, Facebook isn't going to fact check anymore. Well, so what? Since when are we expected to be able to accept and believe everything we see or read on a social media site? And why would you expect Mark Zuckerberg, of all people, to accurately check facts for you anyway? I mean, Meta, for whom Markey is the chief executive, donated $1 million to Donald Trump's inaugural fund. Oh, fact-checking? Yeah, okay. And we all know what a truth teller our president is. And facts, since when do they matter? Different polls give different stats, but a very significant number of people in this country still believe the big lie that DJT won the 2020 election. Facebook isn't fact-checking anymore? Who cares? This is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and that's my opinion.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. Warm up with one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
You come alive in the dead of winter and start work early on snow days, because snowed in is not an option. The Kubota Snow lineup of compact tractors, RTVs, and versatile attachments are built to move, plow, blow, and thrive in the winter, so when the snow falls, you can rise to meet it. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment with 0% financing available or save up to $4,300.
Jefferson Robbins with NCW Life. Chelan-Douglas Together for Youth has been doing good work for the young people in this valley since at least 1993. On December 4th, the Washington Department of Commerce announced Together for Youth would get a little help with their mission, a $68,000 childcare partnership grant to explore childcare options in the Wenatchee Valley, specifically in the town of Waterville. That funding is underwritten by the Balmer Group and the Bezos Family Foundation. Pete Teigen is the executive director for Chelan-Douglas Together for Youth. He's with me now. Thanks for being here, Pete.
It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
The mission of Chelan-Douglas Together for Youth is working to prevent substance use, bullying, violence, crime, and suicide for those under the age of 18 and their families. Can you talk a little bit about how Together for Youth goes about trying to achieve that mission? What programs do you have in place in the various communities?
So our focus area really is, working with youth and their families, but key to doing that work is working with partners and particularly the school districts, both Wenatchee School District, Eastmont School District, Waterville School District, and others, to identify what needs those schools and those communities are seeing with their youth, and then through community coalitions, identifying programs and strategies that we can bring to the schools or to the community to address those needs. We use a data-driven approach, so we use every 2 years the state implements what's called the Healthy Youth Survey, and it's a comprehensive survey covering actually all 39 counties participate. It's optional for parents and schools to participate, but what that data show are trends. What's going on in the school? What are young people, 6th, 8th, 10th, 12th graders seeing? So we use those data to then go back and work with our community partners to identify opportunities to address some of the problems or challenges kids are expressing. So, for example, vaping. Vaping is something that's come up quite a bit in the last number of years. So the Healthy Youth Survey show what are kids saying about vaping? Are they vaping? How much are they vaping? Some of those things. And then we can work with our partners to identify, well, what types of programs or strategies could we bring to different schools or to the schools that are most experiencing vaping as a problem to address some of those challenges, again, to create a more healthy, safe environment for all students.
Well, based on Together for Youth's research into that area, can you identify specific challenges that youth in the Chelan and Douglas County area are facing that might be different from what those in other areas of Washington might be dealing with?
So that's a great question, and I would say I don't know that there's a lot of significant differences, and what's really neat, if you dig into the Healthy Youth Survey, you can see those comparisons, right? How does Chelan compare to the rest of the state? And so generally, a lot of the trends sort of track on a similar path to the rest of the state. So I don't know that there are significant differences. Yet, as we all know, there are significant differences within the state, right? Urban areas face different challenges than, areas like Wenatchee, which face different challenges than sort of the more frontier areas, more rural areas facing the Wenatchee. So I would say a lot of the challenges that youth face in Seattle aren't that dissimilar to what kids in Wenatchee might be facing versus what kids in Eniat Waterville, Bridgeport might be facing. Now, access to services and programs might vary significantly just based on the size and what's available in those areas.
Right, if you grow up in a city and there are social problems that you're a young person and facing, there might be a community center down the street from you that can help you with that. Growing up in a rural community, you might have to go a lot farther to find that service.
Exactly, and that's how we got involved with the childcare project up in Waterville, was just the fact that, you know, there are maybe not enough facilities in Wenatchee and East Wenatchee, but there's no facilities, no licensed childcare facilities in Waterville. And so as we talk to the community and different partners, and they're saying, well, you know, one of the challenges we see in participating in family or parenting programs that we try to help implement in the community is we don't have anywhere to take our kids when we're doing those programs. So, you know, that's part of what I've grown to really understand much more acutely over the last year and a half, is that, you know, some of the challenges are similar, but how we address those challenges might vary depending on the location.
To be clear, you're not a child care provider, you're not opening daycare centers, but you are interested in what child care is available for kids, because that affects the way youth develop in your community.
Exactly. And I mean, there's a number of really high quality licensed child care providers in Wenatchee Valley, from, you know, your infant to toddler care, which Chelan-Douglas Child Services Association is a good example of that. They provide child care for, you know, infants to, you know, preschool age. There's, you know, the YMCA has after school and before school care program that provide child care services and learning services to youth that are at school age. There's a whole bunch of other examples of organizations and agencies doing similar work, so I don't want to just highlight those two. But in Waterville, what we know is that those services don't exist. The next closest licensed provider are in Orondo, which are great, you know, providers, but it is a bit of a drive for families in Waterville.
Right, for sure. And Waterville is the target for this $68,000 child care partnership grant. Mm-hmm. That's where you want to pour your resources in. So now with this grant in hand from Department of Commerce, what steps do you expect to take in that town first?
So for the last several months, we've been doing the first part of the project, which is a needs assessment. It's, you know, really understand the landscape, what's happening in Waterville, what are parents saying they need, how many kids are we talking about, what sort of economics are we talking about in terms of what can parents afford to pay, to really understand, like, from a parent's perspective. We're also talking with a number of community groups, like the PTO, for example, to understand sort of in a focus group setting what's going on and what they're seeing. And then we're also doing a number of interviews, both with folks locally and then also sort of the more expanded Chelan and Douglas County area as well, to really understand what's going on in Waterville. The other element of it, other than just understanding the need, is to understand what opportunities would people like to see. Like, what if money, resources, time wasn't a barrier, like what would they like to see in terms of childcare? Additionally, like, what obstacles do they see? So we can really identify, like, what the community's priorities potentially would be, in addition to what the challenges might be present, you know.
Do you know how many kids there are in Waterville in this, you know, study area that could be helped by any advances, any findings that you might come forward with in childcare?
I don't have a solid number now.
You will soon?
That's something we're working on, and we're trying to, you know, we can use some census data and information in sort of normative discussions about what parents are saying they would need. A couple years ago, the school opened up a transitional kindergarten program that's been hugely successful up there, from my understanding. That's been providing that 4 and 5 year old program to kids, you know, as to prepare them to get ready to go into kindergarten, you know, at where they need to be. So based on that, when opportunities present themselves, the community takes advantages and realizes them. So I feel like there is a tremendous opportunity, and there has been really good buy-in from the community as well. So,
well, speaking of numbers, $680,000 was the total grant outlay in this Commerce Department program, again underwritten by the Bezos Foundation and the Ballmer Group. Your grant, $68,000 to Together for Youth, that's a tenth. Were you surprised at the size of the grant that you were awarded?
Yeah, it's always a little bit surprising, but I think it goes to a testament to the need in the community, right, and the lack of resources. We talked a little bit about sort of urban areas versus more smaller towns or more rural areas, and if you have a small town, there might be one or two options. If you have a really small town, there might not be any. And so I think it really does go to show that Department of Commerce, Ballmer Group, Bezos Family Foundation, a lot of our partners recognize that early learning and childcare are key to making sure that our young children are ready to get into school at the appropriate grade level to learn and thrive. The Ballmer Group announced, I think it was $1 billion public-private partnership last month with Governor Ferguson. Again, they're trying to increase the number of early learning childcare slots by 10,000 over the next number of years. So the state, across the state, people clearly recognize that this is a high priority for all of Washington, not just Seattle, Puget Sound, or Spokane, but for everywhere. So there's a lot of exciting momentum, and we'll just see how the state carries forward, through the next couple legislative sessions.
Well, Waterville is the target, as we mentioned, of this grant-funded program, but you do serve the entire Chelan and Douglas County region. So in the course of a given year, Pete, can you estimate how many kids might be affected or might be involved with a Together for Youth program of some kind?
Yeah, so we track most of our projects that we help, or programs that we help implement in the schools, and I think last year we had over 1,000 kids participate in one program or another. Most of those programs are implemented through the schools, so it could be a school-based program that we help bring to the school that address mental health or substance use. But I think it was just over 1,000 kids in Chelan and Douglas County.
Can you characterize some of the programs that Together for Youth does bring into schools? I've read about Project Hope, for instance. That might be a good example.
Well, so we helped coordinate implementation of Hope Squad, which is a suicide prevention program that was a partnership with Thriving Together NCW that brought Hope Squad, which is a peer-to-peer suicide prevention program, to, I think it was 29 or 30 schools across Chelan, Douglas, and Grant and Okanagan County as well. So that's a good example of how we partner with other folks like Thriving Together and schools to address a need that's identified. We've also do a lot of work. I mentioned, working with youth is important, but also important is working with families. So we try to bring family and parenting programs as well. So we've done Parenting with Love and Logic for the last number of years. We offer that in English and Spanish. Most of our programs we offer in English and Spanish to make sure we're reaching as many of the community members as possible. We also are working with WSU Extension right now. They're implementing the Strengthening Families program. Again, it's a program set to really empower families on how to communicate more effectively, set boundaries, work through problems, overall just sort of succeed and work better together. Some of our school-based programs this year, we're working with Lincoln Elementary School to implement Second Step, which is a social emotional learning program, again, to help students understand, about their emotions and it's okay to be mad, but how we handle that anger is important, or like sometimes we feel sad. How do we work through those? So we really try to be flexible in what programs we bring to schools, and that's where we can be of a service, is that schools, often our teachers, counselors, administrators, classified staff are so busy that anything we can do to help enable them to better connect with young people and address whatever challenges they may be facing, we're really excited to work on.
So Pete, you have been executive director at Together for Youth for about a year and a half, and you came into it from the natural resources and conservation space. So a little bit different maybe from the outside, but can you tell me how your past work might square up with the work you're doing now?
Yeah, so I worked for a regional nonprofit called Sustainable Northwest for a number of years. And I worked in the forestry program. So we partnered with Okanagan Wenatchee National Forest on their Central Washington initiative. And again, that was that huge comprehensive plan to really address the wildfire crisis in our region. But in order for the Forest Service to advance and make that work, feasible on the ground, they had to work with a lot of different partners. And so we really helped with that partner engagement and collaboration. Partners like the Cascadia Conservation District, Chelan County Natural Resources Department, Chumstick Wildfire Stewardship Coalition, the Nature Conservancy, just a plethora of partners. So it was similar in that, it's what is the problem we're trying to address? What stakeholders do we need to bring to the table to start having conversation, understand how we can, identify strategies and programs to address those problems.
Does the work with youth excite you in the same way, or is it a different kind of challenge?
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I had done a lot of youth development many years ago, and I've always really enjoyed working with young people and helping connect them. It also feels at times, it feels really gratifying. Natural resource and conservation work is super important, but it can be pretty slow moving to get stuff done, and then you have wildfires and you feel like, oh, what is all this for? Whereas working with youth, it's, they always bring energy, and that can be really exciting, and it's really fun to work with, kids and schools and other partners who are working with kids. So yeah, it's exciting. It's definitely energizing and tiring at times.
Natural resources work can be kind of a generational task. You might not see the results, as you say, for 30 years longer. You can make a difference for a kid today.
Yeah. You're right, and it's interesting. I was speaking with the school counselor recently, and he was saying to me, he's like, we're in the tree planting business. We plant a seed, which is prevention. We water it, try to nurture it a bit, and then ultimately we may not see the fruits of what that means for that young person. So we might do a program with a 6th grader, and we might not know how that really impacts that 6th grader ever, but it might have demonstrable change in that young person's life, 10, 15 years down the road. So it's nice to have that personal connection and engagement with a lot of young people, but it's still, it can take, generations to realize the benefits of some of this work.
Well, Pete Teigen, Executive Director for Chelan-Douglas Together for Youth. You're launching a new project into the Waterville area. We wish you good luck, and thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks. And I would just say, if anybody's interested in connecting or learning more about our work in Waterville or elsewhere, they can reach out to our website at togethercd.org, or they can email info@togethercd.org. Thanks for your time. I appreciate being here today with you.
For sure. That's the website you see on your screen right now. You're watching the NCW Life channel.
Caught in a conflict? Family, workplace, neighbor, business, housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
BC Outdoor Sport Fishing TV, Season 14. Join your host Mike Mitchell and his special guests as they explore some of the most exciting fisheries BC has to offer. BC Outdoors Sport Fishing TV. Check your listings for airtimes.
We have an update on that three-car accident on State Route 28 at milepost 23. The accident a little after 6 o'clock this morning. As you can see, excuse me, one automobile is fully engulfed. Three-car accident. We now understand from Trooper Jeremy Weber that there has been at least one fatality on this accident. And not long ago on X, Trooper Weber posted this update.
Hey, this is Trooper Weber, Washington State Patrol. Just want to let you know again on Highway 28, there's been a serious injury collision actually leading to one fatality. We're here on State Route 28 at milepost 23 on the Trinidad Hill. Roadway will be closed again for probably several hours. So if you're in the lockup right now, we're asking you to just go to carefully turn around and go back the other direction and look for an alternate route. We have DOT en route that will help with some of that. But for right now, this area is closed for a three-car collision. I'm Trooper Weber, here at Washington State Patrol.
So there you go. We'll have more on this as it develops throughout the course of the day. And of course, we will have more on this at the evening news tonight at 5 o'clock. Stevens Pass still closed between Skycomish and Leavenworth, which means if you have to go over the river and through the woods, you can go all the way down to White Pass, which is a long detour, or for most people, it's Blewett and then I-90. And I need to let you know right now, Blewett is going to get some snow. From tonight through Saturday, Blue Pass is going to get about a foot of snow, but I-90 is going to get a lot of snow. Starting tonight and going through Saturday, it's going to start snowing on Snoqualmie Pass at the summit, and it's not going to stop. They're expecting anywhere from 17 to 31 inches of snow on Snoqualmie Pass beginning tonight and lasting through Saturday. Down here, rain. It's not quite raining yet. I went outside about 15 minutes ago just to see if it was raining yet. It is not, but it's coming, and when it comes, it's going to rain. The snow level right now is about 2,000 feet. It's going to go up to about 4,000 feet later on today, and we're going to get a lot of rain, anywhere between a quarter of an inch of rain possible during the day today and another quarter of an inch possible tonight. Rain should die down at about 10 o'clock or so tonight, maybe a little bit earlier than that as it exits the area. But as it exits the area, the wind will be picking up. We're going to see pretty breezy conditions tonight after the sun goes down. A west wind about 15 miles an hour, gusts near 30. That's still the last thing we need. Chance of rain today is 100%. Chance of rain tonight is 70%. So we get rid of the rain overnight tonight and we exchange that for wind, but it's also going to clear out the skies, which means sunshine from sunup to sundown on Friday. Still warm, 41 for our afternoon high. Once again, our normal afternoon high is 33, which has been not even close to what we've been getting on this incredibly warm December. Warmest December on record. Regardless of what happens between now and the new year, that is going to stand, but at least we're going to have some pretty calm weather after one curveball after another from Mother Nature. That's it for us. We'll start your weekend together tomorrow. Bye-bye.